Sasuke, compared to pretty much every other character in Naruto, changes. They go through character development, which is important. And considering Sasuke is mostly one of the other main characters besides the main character, he's the other main character of Naruto, despite how it may look to some. He more or less is the focal point when it isn't really Naruto, except for the arc about Shikamaru when that was about him and dealing with Atsuma's demise and everything else. But when it comes to Sasuke, he changes a lot throughout the story. I mean, this might be a long video just to let some of you know. This might be a pretty lengthy video just because of how lengthy Sasuke's personality changes from the beginning to pretty much the end. So that's more or less my favorite one when it comes to that. Anyway, getting to the thing. Sasuke. Man, Sasuke in the beginning is, especially as a kid, he's a really nice person. He's just a normal little kid, but once Itachi killed the whole entire clan, that's shattered. He's no longer that kid. He's more serious now. He's quiet, more everything's in his brain rather than probably speaking out loud. He's not as happy anymore. He's sullen, quiet. Some people always want to quote Sasuke as being emo, but I don't know if you want to be quoted emo and you just pretty much saw your whole entire family and clan just get killed. So, no. And he becomes determined to want to kill Itachi throughout pretty much the whole beginning. Although it gets to a certain point in the story where that seems to just stop being a focal point for him at some point. He actually starts to kind of let go of the hatred and just be a ninja. He really was, especially if you realize around the Chunin exam, after he really didn't care so much about Itachi that much at all. The only reason that thought of Itachi entered into his mind again is when he popped up. So when Itachi popped up, it pretty much put that spark back in him to go after him. And that's like the whole point of why Sasuke wanted to even become this avenger, in a sense. He wanted to get back at Itachi for the clan, obviously. But, he completely was pretty much forgetting about that during the whole entire section. He wasn't really even thinking about Itachi after a certain point. Like I said, it wasn't until Itachi came back did the whole thing come back and he's like, I gotta kill you, I'm gonna kill you now. And it obviously didn't work because he wasn't weak, he wasn't strong enough to beat him, obviously. And then the whole little psychological torment thing pretty much messed with him and caused him to pretty much get that mindset like he did in the beginning again, probably even worse than he was. And also, and then because of that, and even the fillers kind of do the same thing, he still has that in his mind, even with that. In the anime, more or less the fillers and whatnot. And pretty much, then it's like, and plus Sasuke has this very inferiority and superiority complex. He thinks that he's better than some people, or he thinks he's better than most fucking people, but in the back of his mind, he really does feel like he's weak. When a person shows their strength, he feels like he's inferior and he's weak to them, and that makes him really like, I gotta do better. And that causes him to push and do things that wouldn't be acceptable, like the thing with the curse mark. And it's like, seriously, Sasuke was like that pretty much from the point Itachi came to the end of at least part 1 of Naruto, that his mindset was just still on there. And then also the fact that Naruto was getting a lot stronger was just making Sasuke even more irritated because of that. It's not like he didn't appreciate Naruto to a point, even if he didn't show it. He just kind of put him out of his mind because he was so worried about Itachi and everything else. And that was just his goal, his drive. And then here comes here comes Naruto pretty much saying, hey, you gotta stop. You can't be doing this. This is not right. You're a ninja. You shouldn't even be plotting about this or even thinking about going to Orochimaru so you can get the power to defeat Itachi. And to which Sasuke says, you're not my friend. I don't even care. You're nothing to me, pretty much. And then it's like the Naruto connection is that's a whole nother topic, though. This is about Sasuke. Point is, Sasuke doesn't listen. He leaves. Next time Naruto sees him was like 2-3 years later, and he's cold. He seems colder than he was before because he's kind of he's older. He's wiser. He's just kind of this very kind of I don't really care attitude at this point. But the thing about Itachi, he's not terrible. He's just my only business is to get stronger. If you're in my way, I'll just crush you. But he won't kill you. He has this thing, especially then, that it's like, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm definitely not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you really badly if you're in my way. Like people like Orochimaru objects to that, kind of like, I don't understand why you would kill somebody. But he's like, it's not my goal. They're not my target. You know it's my target. So that's that. So once Sasuke eventually leaves Orochimaru pretty much and goes on his own, that's pretty much the point where he ends up meeting Itachi, and then that's when he starts to fight Itachi and realizing the strange things of why he is what's wrong with Itachi. I don't know why he is what he is at the time. Well, that's a little after the fight, but he finally happy that he beats him. Until then, he finally realizes why Itachi did the stuff that he did. Now, at that point, Sasuke's broken. He's kind of like broken, surprised, and shocked and everything. And now that he learns the truth, he wants to go to the Leaf Village and destroy everything about the Leaf Village. Anything that represented Itachi in the Leaf Village, he was going to go destroy. Or just in general, he was going to destroy the whole Leaf Village, pretty much. That was his goal. So by the time the Kage Summit, that's still kind of his MO even then, because he's at this point he's just kind of like, I don't really care. And I think it's around that time when he starts to really get to the point of, if you're in my way now, it's not I'm gonna beat you really badly, it's I'm gonna kill you without hesitation. If you're in my way, you're you fucking dead to me, pretty much. I think that's kind of the point where you realize Sasuke is taking a really, really, really dark turn for the worse, especially around that time, because he's like, I'm just going to kill anybody that's in my fucking way. If you stand in my way, you're dead to me. So, after that, and having a constant fight with Naruto, and having another fight with Naruto pretty much again, or at least a clash, he realized that eventually it's going to have to come to a point where he's going to have to fight Naruto, and they're either going to fight to the death, or he's going to kill him. So, and he's come to that conclusion that that's the way it's going to be. So then after that, Sasuke kind of comes to the realization, also later on, much later on, that he kind of realized that it's not really, after Itachi comes back to life, he kind of starts to realize that maybe it really wasn't so much anybody's real fault about the except his clan. It's in its core, you kind of realize that like it really wasn't the Leaf Village's fault. The Uchiha forced the Leaf's hand with the coup. They forced their hands, and Itachi didn't enjoy what he did. He had to carry it out because he figured he was the only person who would just carry out the mission that wasn't really a part of it, or didn't even want to be a part of it in general. But yeah. Then once that Sasuke asks his own question of Hokage, like, what does it mean to be a Hokage, or what does it mean to be a ninja? To which they give their respective answers to him, and he's kind of just thinking about his situation, and then basically sits there and says, I'm going to protect the Leaf Village. Now he doesn't want to destroy it. He wants to protect the Leaf Village now because it's where Itachi wanted to protect himself. So throughout towards the end, Naruto helping out, fighting Kaguya, fighting every other thing out of the opposition, his true goal kind of reveals itself, basically sitting there saying he's going to kill the Kages, which basically means that he still hasn't lost that mean streak. Now he's just like dead set on killing all the Kage and becoming a dictator and shouldering all this burden of hate no matter what. And obviously Naruto isn't having none of that, so they have their little final fight. To which point that Sasuke finally admits what it was about Naruto and realized that Naruto really was his friend. And how all the time he always saw Naruto in the same way that he did. Sasuke just never really wanted to kind of admit that, or he was just too shouldered. He was just too much in his goals, pretty much, in a way, that he couldn't even think about that at all. So after that, Sasuke is kind of back to his quote-unquote original self. I wouldn't say original in the sense of, well, he's nice and good again. I would say that he's just Sasuke at this point. He's still like Sasuke in the very beginning of the story, but not with any bad intentions anymore. He's still very, very like upper class in a way. How I put it, not like upper class, but still kind of very sullen and very quiet, and just kind of speaks and doesn't really hold much. I wouldn't say not hold too much weight, but I would say he's just more reserved as much as he was, and not getting into things and not having too many ambitions or intentions as much as he did back then. So yeah, and that's kind of his thing, his MO really. He doesn't really, he goes through a lot of change in Naruto. I mean, he really goes through a lot of changes. He went, like I said, he went from being pretty much an innocent kid to being a very sullen and not even depressed, but just very sullen and quiet to this very vengeful person that just seeks revenge so much. And then when he finally got the revenge, he learned something even worse. So then he's even driven by more revenge and hatred, and then that eventually changes him even worse, to the point that he's just outright killing people. Where before he wasn't doing that type of thing. He didn't really have that mentality of I'm going to kill people, because he figured my target is Itachi. I'm not going to kill anybody else. I'll hurt you really badly, but I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you. And like I said, when it got to that point afterwards, he didn't even care anymore. He was willing to kill fucking Sakura if it really meant that much to him, if she really got in his way. And that was that more or less was the whole giant testament to kind of show that you're really that terrible. You really gotten to be that terrible if you were really plotting on killing her. And it was like, and like everybody was like, no, it wasn't any type of thing. It wasn't like you were trying to not kill her. No, you really meant to intentionally kill her. And it's like, as I said, like almost everybody lost faith in Sasuke except you know who. So yeah, I would pretty much put Sasuke up there like that. He definitely goes through a lot of changes in Naruto. I might even go so far to say that he goes through more changes than the main character of the fucking series does. I mean, he's the main character too, but I mean the main character. But it's just kind of like one of those things that kind of makes the story really, really unique. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I said it was going to be a long one, and like I said, it is a long one. This is Character Interpretations. Thanks for watching.